Hello and welcome to week 1 overview video for mnst 8101 Music of the Sea. So what I will do is just read down and explain each component of the week 1 folder. So under the learning modules, you click on a folder that says week 1, the general learning modules for the course. First one says week 1, you click it and open it. The first thing that you see is a page that says week 1 overview, video, that's this. The thing below that says week 1 overview, another page. And it lists 4 things that are the components for week 1's content. A PDF reading, in this case Music of the Sea, pages 5 to 31 by David Proctor. Again, found on the first, the homepage of the course, the learning modules homepage of the course, under the course readings, right? So you find Music of the Sea, it's the very first PDF listed there, and you open it, that's where the reading is. Below that, on the week 1 overview page, under the week 1 folder, it says discussion thread, 12 posts and 5 responses. Minimum 20 words per post. Below that it says audio links, and below that it says short essay. So those are the week 1 overview page then is the brief list of the components of that week's activities. So the next page down says discussion thread, research topics, Music of the Sea, David Proctor, pages 5 to 31. So you click on that page and open it. Excuse me. And you see it says below, please find 35 topics for discussion identified in the reading, numbered for the most part chronologically according to where they appear in the text. So again, that basically means question 1 probably deals with something at the beginning of the reading. The last question probably deals with something at the end of the reading, and etc. It says for week 1, students are required to start discussion threads according to the topic numbers below. Benton, topics 1 to 12. Lefkis, topics 13 to 24. Sanderlin, topics 35 to 35. Students are also required to comment on 5 threads begun by others, i.e. rather than commenting on your own post, which you are free to do, but make sure to comment on at least 5 other posts by your colleagues. It says your post can be pithy or involved, as you'll hear me say often in the course, but must be at least a few sentences, i.e. substantive. So it can be short, but it should be meaningful. Or it can be long and meaningful, but long and vague is not so helpful. Short and vague is also not helpful. So students can demonstrate familiarity with the reading by commenting on a variety of posts, right? So this way I know that you've read to the end of the reading if you're commenting on the end post that relates to the content from the end of the reading, etc. And then the list of topics are here. Okay, but after the next page under the week 1 folder, after we have, just going back to the beginning for the mechanics of it, go back, click on week 1 folder. Again, we just talked about week 1 overview. We talked about the discussion thread research topics. Below that is something that says discussion thread week 1. You know that it's a discussion thread and not a page because it has 3 yellow pages and a thumbtack or a pushpin instead of just 1 blank page as the little icon beside it. So you know that means that the implication of the 3 yellow sort of post-it notes and a thumbtack is that we have like a cascade of posts being placed on top of each other. So that is where you actually create your threads and also create your posts, or threads means the same thing, and also respond to other posts. It all happens in that discussion thread, in this case for week 1. There's a discussion thread for each week within each week's folder. Below that, there's a page that says audio links. Open it, and you find that it has a link. It says link to classic maritime music, a Smithsonian Folkways collection of maritime recordings, with the YouTube playlist. So you copy it and paste it into a browser, and that will open to the playlist itself. Below that, there's a link to the album liner notes for some background on each shanty and sea song that you hear on this particular recording. Same thing, copy it, paste it into a browser, and a PDF will open with information about the music. The final page in the week 1 folder says short essay. So you click on that page at the bottom of the week 1 folder. And it says, pick 2 of the shanties from the classic maritime music playlist from Audio Links and investigate them more deeply. So your essay should address the following. Read the musical and lyric content, i.e. the instrumental music itself as well as the lyrics of the shanties. How could you describe what's going on in the recorded examples of each shanty you've chosen, musically speaking? That is, how can you describe the shanties using specific musical terminology such as melody, harmony, rhythm, form, texture, timbre, which is another way of saying tone color, etc. I've included a glossary. It's a very, very succinct, helpful glossary to a list of musical terminology. You can use, you can find it elsewhere as well, but if you choose to use this one, again, copy it and paste it into a browser and it'll open. And then I included some questions also regarding the lyric content of each shanty that you choose, each of the two, right? Including what's the shanty's history, what's its purpose, when, where, and by whom was it used, broadly speaking. What do the two shanties have in common? What's different about them? Kind of a compare and contrast. And it says students must address the recording I provided as well as at least one other version of each shanty you choose found via your research. So again, meaning the two from classic maritime recordings that you choose, and then also just via YouTube or Vimeo or Google, you will find many different audio recordings of these shanties. Are often we can think of them sort of as standard repertoire in a way. They're not, some are more obscure than others, but certainly the ones on this particular recording are very well recorded and by many different ensembles. So you compare and contrast essentially the version from the recording here with another one you find. Same with the second shanty you choose. And it says short essay parameters below that, due Sunday, so the end of week 1, a short essay, 700 word minimum. Doesn't have to be more than 700 words. It can be 701, whatever. It can be 698, fine. Don't submit 200 words. Don't submit 10,000 words, right? 700 is sort of a almost exact, but not quite ballpark for you to adhere to. It says due Sunday, short essay plus works cited expanding on your listening. So, and it says please submit your short essay as a Word attachment via internal Blackboard message rather than external email. So again, it's in the left column of your Blackboard page. Under discussions, there's something that says email external. Please don't use that. Below it, it says messages internal. Please use that. If you want to send a copy of it via regular email, fine, but let's keep all the messaging going within the Blackboard shell. Okay? Any questions? Please let me know. Welcome to week 1 again, and here we go. Take care.